exercise is an overhead reach, really focused on keeping your ribs down and keeping your abs, especially your obliques that run along the sort of outsides of your ribs here, engaged. So what we're going to be doing is essentially starting out reaching forward, and you're going to reach forward to send your shoulder blades a little bit forward and your ribs backwards a little bit. We're also going to sort of set up a good base at your feet. So there's a couple different kind of cues that you can use for that. One of those is that you're squeezing a saddle sort of like up and in between your legs to create some ground tension through your legs. The other one is that you can rotate your feet outward a little bit to create a little bit of tension through your glutes, but we want the legs to be a little bit active here. So you're going to use whatever cue your PT told you to use. From there, what's going to happen, so you're going to get a little bit in the hips, a little bit in the knees, active tension, either the saddle or the rotating outward. The arms are going to go forward. As you inhale, you're going to stay where you are. As you exhale, you're going to bring your arms up towards the ceiling a little bit more. So inhale, exhale, and you're reaching forward this whole time. This one's really helpful to do in front of a mirror, because what you'll notice is that as you start to reach your ribs up, or as you start to reach your arms up, your ribs might want to pop forward, and we're looking to essentially get a big exhale and a big reach forward with the arms to help kick your obliques in, your abs, to help pull that side of your rib cage down, so you shouldn't see a big bump between your rib cage and your like belly. We want that to be relatively flat. We want to see some obliques sort of all through this area, like working to help pull that in. It's less about like squeezing your obliques really hard to make that happen, although you can reinforce that tension a little bit, and it's more about like using that breath to really drive you there. So on the inhales, you're going to do big breaths into your rib cage and into your belly and really try to fill all of this up. As you exhale, you're going to gently pull your belly button back towards your spine and up towards your throat, and you'll reach up higher and higher and higher, again controlling for what your rib cage is doing. For this one, starting with no weight in your arms is great. You can also add a yoga block or a dumbbell into your hands to create a little bit of tension by pressing your hands together through your pecs to bring in a little bit more connection between your pecs, which also end up connecting in with your abs a little bit. So with a dumbbell, and I'll go from the side here so we can talk about what should happen with the ribs from this direction. We're going to start out reaching out in front of us. I've got just a light weight, and I'm squeezing the light weight between my hands. As I inhale, I'm staying. As I exhale, and really driving those obliques down and keeping that rib down as I inhale through my next one. And again, shirt off on this one in front of a mirror really is great because you'll see what your ribs are doing, and that feedback can be helpful to sort of get you going there. On this one, as you're reaching up, you want to avoid sort of like leaning back this way for right now. We want to stay sort of like nice and tall as we're doing this. The glutes and the legs should be working the whole time to sort of support you. We don't want to see a lot of like forward motion of the pelvis. There can be a little bit of that motion that happens at the end of this, but really that happens when your arms are all the way sort of like up overhead. And most of the time, we're gonna keep the pelvis relatively still on this one versus having it move.